The most dangerous person in your life isn't always the one who disrespects you to your face. It might be the one who is always kind, always helpful, always there when you need them. Because hostility gives you a warning. You see it coming. You know where you stand. You protect yourself. Kindness does the opposite. It lowers your defenses. It makes you trust faster. And sometimes it creates a debt you never agreed to owe. Someone does you a favor. You appreciate it. Then they do another and another. Nothing has been asked of you, yet somehow saying no starts feeling wrong. That is where kindness becomes interesting, because the moment you feel obligated to behave differently, someone else has gained influence over your behavior. You haven't been asked for control. You've started controlling yourself, and that is much harder to notice. Niccolò Machiavelli understood the political power of appearances. In his writing, what people believed about a ruler could matter almost as much as what that ruler actually was. People rarely judge motives they cannot see. They judge what they can see. The generosity, the mercy, the helpfulness, the person you instinctively want to trust. And once someone looks good to you, you become more willing to explain away what doesn't. That does not mean every kind person has an agenda. Most don't, and assuming otherwise would be foolish. The point is simpler. Don't measure someone's intentions by how good their kindness makes you feel. Measure the pattern. Because genuine kindness and strategic kindness can look almost identical until you stop giving the response the other person expected. That is where the difference starts to show. Say no to a small favor. Disagree about something insignificant. Stop giving them the attention they became accustomed to. Then watch. Not for one dramatic reaction. Watch the climate change. The warmth that used to be effortless becomes conditional. The replies that came within minutes suddenly take all day. The person who used to make everything feel easy becomes strangely distant. Maybe they don't confront you. Maybe they don't accuse you. They simply withdraw the kindness. And that is the part people misunderstand. Manipulation doesn't always end with anger. Sometimes it ends with withdrawal. Because the kindness was never entirely about giving. It was also about what the giving produced. So ask yourself, what happens when I stop being useful to this person? That question tells you more than 100 compliments ever will. Because a genuinely kind person can be disappointed. They can have boundaries. They can say no. They can even distance themselves. But strategic kindness tends to reveal itself through a pattern. Warmth when you cooperate. Coldness when you resist. Generosity when you provide value. Distance when you stop. One reaction is not proof of manipulation. Repeated patterns deserve attention. Because you learn more about someone when the incentives change. That is one of the darker truths behind Machiavelli's thinking. Behavior can look very different when circumstances change. And kindness is no exception. Think about the person who is constantly helping you. They remember the small things. They give advice. They make themselves available. They make you feel supported. At first, it feels like friendship. Maybe it is. But then something changes. You stop taking their advice. You start making your own decisions. You no longer need their approval. And the same person who once celebrated your independence starts criticizing it. Their advice becomes judgment. Their concern becomes control. Their support starts sounding like, I was only trying to help. Maybe nothing mysterious happened. Maybe you simply stopped playing the role they preferred. That is why unsolicited help can sometimes create a subtle hierarchy. One person becomes the giver, the other becomes the receiver, and eventually the giver starts feeling entitled to influence, not because they demanded authority, but because you accepted enough favors to make refusing them uncomfortable. That is the invisible contract. Nobody signed it, nobody announced it, but both people can feel it. I helped you, so now you should. And that unfinished sentence can control an entire relationship. Your time, your loyalty, your silence, your decisions. The dangerous part is that the person using the leverage may not even experience themselves as manipulative. They may genuinely believe, after everything I've done for you, this is how you treat me. That is why you don't need to accuse someone of having bad intentions. You don't need access to their private thoughts. You need to observe what repeatedly happens when you stop complying. Now reverse the situation. Someone helped you. You felt indebted. So you agreed to something you didn't really want. Later, that same person crossed a boundary and you hesitated to confront them. Not because the behavior was acceptable, because you remembered everything they had done for you. That is when gratitude stops being gratitude. It becomes leverage. And this is why kindness can sometimes be more powerful than intimidation. Fear makes you resist. Gratitude can make you volunteer. If someone threatens you, you know you're being pressured. If someone helps you first, you may pressure yourself. You tell yourself you owe them. You give them another chance, then another. You overlook something you normally wouldn't tolerate, and eventually they don't need to ask. You already know what they expect. That is real leverage, not forcing your hand, making you move it yourself. But don't become paranoid. The answer isn't to reject generosity. It isn't to assume every favor is a trap, and it certainly isn't to see manipulation in every smile. That would only replace trust with suspicion. The stronger position is calibration. Accept kindness. Appreciate generosity. But keep your judgment intact. A favor is a favor. It does not automatically purchase access to you. Gratitude is appropriate. Obligation is not unlimited. Look beyond how someone treats you when you can benefit them. Watch how they treat people who cannot reward them, impress them, or advance them. Watch what happens when you disagree. Watch whether their kindness survives your boundaries. And watch whether they can give without keeping score. Because genuine kindness doesn't require you to become smaller in exchange for receiving it. And genuine generosity doesn't purchase permanent access to your life. The clearest test is simple. Say no. Not dramatically, not aggressively, just no. Then pay attention. If the relationship survives your boundary that tells you something, if the warmth disappears because you stopped cooperating, that tells you something too. Not necessarily everything, but enough to investigate the pattern. Because generosity tells you more when it costs something. Support tells you more when you have nothing to give back. And kindness tells you more when you are free to disagree. That is where Machiavelli becomes relevant, not because he was telling you to distrust every kind person, but because he understood the gap between appearance and reality. A person can look generous, a ruler can look merciful, a relationship can look loyal, but appearances are easiest to maintain when the circumstances are favorable. The harder question is, what happens when your interests stop aligning? That is when character becomes easier to see. Not perfectly, not instantly, but more clearly. So, don't judge people only by how warmly they treat you when everything is going their way. Pay attention when you become inconvenient. Pay attention when you stop agreeing. Pay attention when you stop providing what they expected. And most importantly, pay attention to whether their kindness survives your freedom. Because someone who genuinely cares about you may be disappointed by your choices. They may disagree with you. They may even walk away. But they won't need to punish you for being independent. That is the distinction worth remembering. Don't ask only, how kind are they? Ask, does their kindness still exist when I stop giving them what they want? Because anyone can make you feel valued. The real test is whether they still respect you when you stop being useful. That is when kindness stops being an impression and becomes evidence. And if you want to go deeper into the people behind these behaviors, watch the video on your screen now. I break down the 3 most dangerous personality types. The one who needs admiration, the one who plays the long game, and the one who simply doesn't care about the damage they cause. because understanding manipulation is useful. But knowing who is most likely to use it is even more useful. Watch it now.